guys, so this is my presentation on interview tips to get the job. Some do's and don'ts and what to prepare for. So when choosing this workshop to attend, I knew for sure that I wanted to look into one that had to deal with either resumes or interviewing. So I was able to find one through CSUN's website, a virtual presentation on interviewing with confidence. So I'm not sure how many of us here have gone through an interview before, maybe some of us dozens, but either way, the short presentation will break down some do's and don'ts to nail your next job interview. So some do's: dress the part, arrive early, bring a hard copy of your resume, come in with confidence, have genuine interest for the job, make sure you have the right skill set and you have previous experience with the position that you are applying for. Make sure and prepare to ask some questions for them, and then at the end, thank the interviewer. So some don'ts: don't seem too desperate, don't talk poorly about previous employers, try not to oversell yourself too much, don't speak too quickly, let your answers be too long or too personal. Next, practice as much as possible. Definitely get a friend or family member to go over some of these possible questions that they may ask you. That way you will be confident when those questions come up. Tell me about yourself. Now, this one is a tough one. It can be a very vague question. So something that I have started to do is I start off by saying, well, are you talking about professionally or personally? And generally, 9 out of 10 times, they are not asking about what you are doing this weekend or what your hobbies are. So they are trying to ask about your professional background because you are there for an interview. Strengths and weaknesses. So this can come up. This is where you can really give a chance to sell yourself and why you are better than the next, average Joe that walks in. So this can lead to some possible questions, further, like, why do you want to work for our company? So you want to think about your strengths when this comes up, and you can give them an answer to why. Again, some other questions that will lead into this: why should we hire you? Again, you could have your strengths prepared so you know how to answer this. And then tell me an example of a time when. A lot of the times they will ask you, if you had a experience with an irate customer, how did you deal with it? And you'll be able to answer that. So here are some common questions you could be asked. Why do you want to work for our company? What is one of the biggest things you've accomplished? Tell me about a challenge you faced at work and how did you overcome it? What is your biggest strength or weakness? Why did you leave your last job? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Do you have any questions for us? So I've listed a couple of questions that you might want to prepare for. Can you tell me about the history of this position? This is your chance to, kind of interview them. You are applying for this job, so you kind of want to know what, a day or a week would look like in this position. Tell me about the most successful person you've hired and why were they successful? You are being hired for, or, interviewed for this position. So you want to know why the person previously did so well in this job, or maybe why they did not. So what do you like best about working for this company? This is one of my favorite ones. Usually you are interviewing with an assistant manager or the manager, and they've obviously been there for quite some time to get in the position that they are in. So why have they stayed with the company for so long? What is it about this job that makes them want to come to work every day and stay there? What might be the biggest obstacle to overcome within this position? Again, this is another one of my favorites because it's going to tell you pretty much the hardest part of this job that you might need to overcome, and it's something you need to know. If it's something too much for you, you want to know right off the bat, or if you could easily do it, then that's perfect. Lastly, you're going to want to follow up. This is not something that I have done in the past with my first few job interviews that I did. It's not even something I knew, professionally to do. But you can send a thank you email that day or within, the next 24 hours. Let them know, thank you so much for your time and meeting with me. That'll also give you a chance if you forgot anything that you may not have been able to discuss in the interview, you can bring that up. And then if you haven't heard anything after about a week or so, you can send a follow-up thank you email and express your interest still in that job. But this is definitely the most professional thing to do, so I highly recommend it. And that is it. Go get that job. This is something that I really appreciated that CSUN was able to provide. They gave a lot of information. Their workshop was about a 20-minute long presentation that they had. So something that I definitely learned from this was, not just be honest, be yourself. Try not to be too nervous in an interview, and as long as you practice and show that you have genuine interest for the job and that you really want it and you have the right skill set, you'll be fine. I would definitely recommend this to others for sure. Something that I learned that I didn't think about was, now that everything is online and we don't necessarily go in to apply for a job right away. I mean, sometimes you still can, but mostly it's online. Something you want to do is make sure and save that job post, whatever site you found it on, their website or, ZipRecruiter, Indeed, or something like that, a job posting site. Make sure and take a screenshot or just save it somehow. I found a lot of times that I didn't even think to do this because, I applied for it, it's still going to be there somewhere, but sometimes they will delete that job post once they have enough candidates that they are going to interview, and then if they call you a week or 2 or 3 later, oh, we want to have you come in, you're like, what job is this for? I have no idea who this is. So again, to stay prepared with everything, you want to make sure you have that saved, so as soon as somebody reaches out to you, you know exactly who it's for and everything, and you can prepare, because usually they will have all the skill sets in there, so it's kind of almost like a cheat sheet. So that is something that I learned and would definitely want to share this with others. Thank you so much, you guys.